Hello everyone and welcome back to another Railway Model Store review. Today we're taking a look at the popular Liverpool and Manchester Railway Stephenson's rocket mail coach, which isn't really my era. I don't know much about it, but we're going to take a look anyway. We've got a load of these in stock at a pretty reasonable price, which will be at the bottom of the screen right now, and obviously as usual get your usual 5% off with the code RMSYOUTUBE. But anyway, let's get right in. So it's a completely different box to what we normally have, as obviously this is slightly more collectible, I would say, than a lot of the stuff we make videos on. So this is actually like a book set, but on the front we've got the rocket up the top here, and then we've got sort of a graphic of the model. So we've got Stephenson's rocket coach, third class coach, and then obviously the mail coach, which has a geezer on the end, which is kind of cool. Liverpool, Manchester, Stephenson's rocket mail coach, overgauge train pack. I hope that's what that stands for anyway, I can't remember off the top of my head. And then off the side, we've got slightly golden colour here, again with the graphic of the train, as well as the Railway Museum logo there. On the back, you've got your usual detailed scale model, not suitable for children. Rocket logo on the bottom here. On this side again, you've just got another graphic, and on the top, you've just got another rocket logo. But it's quite a nice box, I would say. I quite like the sort of presentation, the design. So once you've opened it, on the side, you've got a load of text about the mail coach. So I mean, if you want to read that, feel free to pause it here. And then on this side, you've got the train, which is sort of surrounded by a red and white border, which I think looks really, really good. So let's get it out of the box now and take a closer look at the model. Okay, so here you have the Stephenson's rocket out of the box. For a quick size comparison, here is a Hornby Peckett. So it's about the same length. Just take a look at it like this. But yeah, so that's my other smallest engine. So there you go, as a quick sort of comparison there. So if we start to take a closer look at the model, you can see there's quite a lot of detail packed in for such a small model. And you can see it's completely different to the sort of stuff we do, as obviously it's like a first generation steam train. But yeah, so if we look at the front here, you've got your big pipe, and this is actually die cast to add some weight, so that's made out of die cast metal. And you can see there's some other bits of detail on that as well, sort of like an extra pipe going up and down the side. You can see at the top here it's sort of split into sort of flares, I would say. I don't really know what the technical term is for that. No buffer beam on the front, as I don't think these have been invented yet, but there's sort of like a black barrier held up by a couple struts. The pipe here is also held up by these two struts as well. At the front you've got the main driving wheels, which are yellow, and you can see in there there's also a sort of black surround around the center there, and there's some black on the wheel spokes as well. You can see the sort of the main boiler, which sort of looks like a barrel, really, doesn't it? With all the lines going across it. You see the rocket logo, sorry, the rocket nameplate here, which is sort of in a bronze color. And then you can see there's another pipe that comes out of the bottom of the funnel, and it's bronze and runs along the side of the boiler here. You can see there's another bit of detail there, again in bronze, and then further back there is some more detail, another bronze bit and a silver bit there. The most interesting thing is obviously the way the wheels are driven is completely different to what we normally see. So you've got your pistons sort of angled rather than on most trains, they're sort of like at the front pushing this way. But yeah, so that's there, and these are really well detailed as well. There's quite a lot of moulding packed in, and there's a few different colours. So you've got your silver on the rod, then there's some grey here for some mechanical parts, and then the main sort of piston sort of casing is there in black. And then if we move even further back, you can see what I suppose is the firebox. So that's quite well moulded. There's a lot of detail on there. You also see this big silver bar just here, which I presume is the reverser. Another bit of detailing at the bottom here, yellow on the rear wheel, no black on that one though, as on the front. And there's a couple more struts on the side, either side of the boiler, sorry, the firebox door. You can also see, just where my finger is there is a silver handle, which I presume is the brake. And if we look at the back, we've obviously got the tender, which is very obviously made out of wood with a water barrel on the side, sorry, on the top, which I think is really good. Because there's a lot of detail on there, and you can see the black lining is on it as well. And you can also see, obviously, the axle boxes here, and the white wheels, so the yellow wheels, which looks really good. I think the barrel looks great. Loads of good moulding on that barrel. I can't see any issues with it. And obviously on the back, there's no buffer beam either. And then inside there is a little bit of coal, sort of your standard Hornby coal. I don't think it looks particularly fantastic, but it's not too bad either. So let's take a look at the rest of the train. Okay, so let's now take a look at the coach. I believe this is the first class coach, which is named Treasurer. As you can see in the middle there, it's named Treasurer. I thought it might have been a coach specifically for treasurers, but I think that's probably not likely. But this is a stunning model. This is a very, very well done coach. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know. It just looks great. There's so much detail on here for such a small coach as well. But yeah, so if we go from left to right, you can see there is a buffer beam on this in yellow. It has got buffers. I don't think they're sprung. No, it doesn't have sprung buffers. Maybe they hadn't been invented yet. But yeah, so you've got the black buffers sticking out here. You've also got a bit of a step ladder here, which then continues up the side so that they can get onto the roof, presumably to store luggage up there. I think that's possibly what they used to do. But yeah, so you can see there's a lot of detail on the back here. There's a lot of black lining, and then, like I mentioned, the ladder there. And then you've got a lot of detail on the roof here. You've got a lot of handrails up at the top here. Again, probably luggage goes in here. And then there's sort of these 3 black bits sticking up the top here as well. And if we take a look at the side, you can see it says Liverpool Manchester there. It says Railway Company underneath Treasurer. But if we have a look at the bottom here, you see there's a lot of detail on the coach body. You can see a lot of rivets. There's a lot of black lining. And then there's these bits of metal coming down here, which are steps for getting up into the coaches, as I assume platforms back then were literally just the floor. So yeah, and you've got the lining around the windows and the doors, and the elaborate lining around the Liverpool Manchester. You've got sort of bronze handles on the doors, and there is actually an interior to this. You can't really make it out, but it's got a more of a sort of maroon brown interior, so that's quite nice to see. And then if we just have a look at the other side, it's just the same. So you've got your step ladders to get up onto the roof. You've got your buffer beam, which again, as you can see, has got quite a lot of detail on it, sort of these moulded dips, as well as this bit in the middle, which is where the actual coupling goes. But yeah, so overall, I think that's a stunning little coach. That really, really well done. Okay, so let's take a look now at the third class coach. Again, it's got the same coach body as the last one. You can see there's a lot of riveting along here, the black lining, and then the steps to get up into the coach. But obviously the most interesting bit is a third class coach at this period in time was literally just an open wagon with some separators. But it does look really, really good. Again, no sprung buffers, not much of a buffer beam as we would know it today. But you can see there is one there with sort of dips. And you can also see the black lining there as well. And on the inside, you can see it's just an open wagon that's been split, but you can see the planks of wood at the bottom there, which look quite good. I'd say the separators don't look great, to be honest, but maybe that's just how they were in real life. Who knows? I don't know if any of these wagons actually still exist. But yeah, so we've got all black lining along here, all of these sort of separating barriers between the different panels. And again, we've got sort of bronze handles, as we did on the first class coach. Okay, so here's what I suppose is sort of the most important wagon of this. This is what distinguishes it from the other Stephenson's rocket sets, and this is the Royal Mail coach, which looks really, really good. So if we just start from this side, you can see again, it's the same coach body, or wagon body, I suppose, but yeah, so there's no sprung buffers, but you can see the bottom's in yellow, and you can see the dips in the buffer beam there, as well as the coupling. You can see that we've got the 3 step ladders on the side to get up into this coach. You can see again, we've got the steps to get up here as well, in black there, although the body's black so you can't see this clearly. And again, you've got the hand railing around, probably to keep the luggage up there, as well as this box up the top here, which looks really good. The actual coach itself is sort of a dark Royal Mail maroon. You can see it says Royal Mail here, Liverpool Manchester there and there. And you can see, again, it's got sort of the bronze handles, which is pretty cool. So if we just flip it around, you can see this end is very much different, as this is where I presume it's a brakeman sits, or maybe a guard. But yeah, so his seat is up here, and you can see it's sort of got a brown panel for the guy to sit on, which looks really, really good. And again, you've got sort of the step ladders to get up to that position. As you can see, the guy isn't on that, and that is because he is actually he doesn't come stuck on. So yeah, this set actually comes with 3 figures. I can't quite get them all out. So this is the guy that goes on the back there. This is like the guy protecting the coach. So he would go up here. As well as this, we obviously have the 2 figures for the actual loco. So we've got the driver and we've got the fireman. So that's pretty cool. So you can stick all of this on if you don't want to keep it. If you actually want it to run, you have the option to put it all on. And if you don't want to run it, just want to keep it in the box, then you also have that option, which is really, really cool. Okay, so we've got the loco down on the layout now, so we'll do a little bit of running. I would run it with the coaches, but the couplings are inside a bag, and obviously I need to be able to resell this as new, or just tested, so we don't want to be doing any damage to the bags. So we're just going to have to run it like this. Hopefully my layout hasn't been damaged by the heat wave. But yeah, so let's hear my final thoughts and do a little bit of running. Okay, so overall I think this is a really great collectible model to get, even if you don't really want to run it. Even if it's not your era, it's sort of the type of thing that you can buy, keep on a shelf, and it will gain a lot of value over the next few years, as anything Stephenson's rocket related generally does. But it's a really great model, some really solid detailing and moulding on there. The coaches it comes with, especially the male coach, are also really, really well done. And again, so it's about £280 if you use the RMS YouTube code. So that is pretty cheap, and that's pretty competitive compared with other retailers. So I highly recommend using that code if you do want one of these. And obviously next day shipping and all that is free with a product of that price. But yeah, no, really solid model. Not something I'd be interested in myself. But for those of you with any interest in Era 1, I highly, highly recommend that. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.